Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to Friday. You made it. I'm really close to the camera right now. Let me get this video up and pinned while we wait for people to arrive. No one's here yet anyway. Wow. I don't know, have you guys had to, I'm talking to no one right now. Oh, there's someone. Hello. Have you guys had to update your Facebooks? I'm finding it's just harder to find things. There we go. Marcus announcement. Okay, so we're good. Wow, this is our 99th weekday drawing. So we're gonna have to celebrate that. Next week will be the 100th drawing, you guys. The 100th drawing. I mean, that doesn't count the sip and draws, but that's a big deal. 100 drawings? Yeah, we're gonna have to celebrate that. We might even have a special surprise to celebrate that. So 100 drawings. Soak that in. If you've done that all, amazing. If you haven't and you're new or you just haven't, remember all the drawings are in the archive so you can view them at any time. So if you're feeling a little sad that there's no Draw with Stacy until Wednesdays, then you know what? There's plenty of drawings that you can come do. But if you've done it all, then I don't totally have a solution for you yet, but I will. There will be an announcement coming after the holiday weekend or sometime over the holiday weekend. But yeah, there'll be an announcement about what's happening here. So welcome. We are still kind of doing a doodle page, but I've put it in a little bit more, I kind of put it in a little bit more of like a drawing format. I didn't spread things all over the page like I normally do, but a doodle in the sense that we are just drawing, you know, all these different characters. So we may not color them together because it's going to really take some time to draw them. And I know even last week, on Wednesday, our drawing went really long. This is something I'm going to do just in pen. Usually when I do the doodle page and I do it just in pen, I don't pre-draw it. So the first drawing that I'm doing is with you guys. I did pre-draw this. It is a little more advanced than some of our others. There's a lot of like spatial stuff going on in this one. The other doodle pages are usually a little bit easier. So if you have been working in pen on Fridays with us and you're up for the challenge, then by all means, get your pen. If me telling you that it's a little more challenging has scared you, then get your pencils. Because we are fitting 6 characters, but we're fitting them kind of together. I've puzzled them. Now, just because I've done this once does not mean that my drawing today will look the same as my pre-drawing, because when you are working in pen, you are a slave to the pen, right? Like I can't make erase marks. So if I make something funky or I make something bigger than I made it last time, I have to make it work. I might move a character around. We'll see. That's the beauty of the pen. It's kind of exciting, I think. Anyway, that's really all the announcements I have. We do have a sip and draw this week, so it's been a bit because August had 5 Saturdays. So yes, this Saturday, sip and draw, we're doing Miss Piggy. So, okay, let me show you the drawing. there you have it. There's your cereal, guys. A little more complicated than what we normally do when we work in just pen. I mean, we have a lot of shapes here with Captain Crunch. We have Tony the Tiger. I don't know. Don't get excited. I don't know all their names. The Cheerios Bee, whatever his name is. The Trix. Trix are for kids. Toucan Sam, maybe? I don't know. And then I think this guy was the Cornflakes, Kellogg's Cornflakes, maybe, or just a Kellogg's logo. He's like a rooster. But and you can see my bowl's a little wonky. It's higher on this side than it is on this side. But you know, that is, again, when you're working in pen, you just have to kind of let some things go. You have to make it work. Make it work. Didn't somebody always said that in like a fashion design show? Make it work. So that's what we're doing when we're doing in pen. So we have a lot of layering going on. We're going to start with Tony the Tiger, and then we're going to go from there. So I'll be excited to see it. I think if you upload your drawing today, you should tell me if you did it in pen or you did it in pencil. Because I know a lot of you guys are getting better as well at your drawings. So I'm going to start with the bowl. So I'm just going to do this like slightly curved line. I'm also going to switch my pen because this pen is fraying. I grabbed my color in one. And then do the base of the bowl. And you know, if they came out even, good for you. If they didn't, no worries. Because once you fill your little cereal guys in there, you're really not going to notice. I think I actually made this a little smaller too than my previous drawing. So, you know, we could run out of room here for some characters, but we'll see. We'll see how we do and we'll try to make it work. So I'm going to start with Tony the Tiger's head. And this is one of those things where we're kind of just going for it with that shape. So I'm going to do a curved, kind of squarish hump that has a little bit of leg on both sides. So see how I kind of started out, because these are going to round out to be his cheeks. So this side is going to come out and around. This one does too, but it's a little less rounded. It's almost more triangular. And then you're going to keep bringing this down and around till you meet that. So see, that's a funky shape. It doesn't look anything like what we're drawing yet. And I can already tell you he's a little bit smaller. He's a little bit lower in the bowl. So let's put his ears next. And his ears are kind of just, you know, an upside down triangle. You're not seeing the tip, the point. And then his ears have another little upside down triangle inside. And this space around on the ears is colored black. I'm going to be doing a lot of black coloring in as I go. I also feel a sneeze coming on. Whew. Okay. Next, I'm going to put his nose, and I want his nose to be kind of large and it to be this upside down curved triangle again with 2 little nostrils, one on each side, and you'll color that in black. From the nose, you're going to do a line that curves into the top of the head. So it's narrow at the top and then wider at the nose. One eye will fit in here. You'll do a slightly curved line and then make that hump up above. Leaving some room, we'll put an eyeball in the corner here. And then above this eye, we're going to do an eyebrow. So just like that little kind of crescent moon shape, little apple slice. The other eye is coming off of the side of the nose here. So you're going to curve out, and then this will round around. Put that eyeball in the corner over here. And then same thing, that eyebrow. Now it's starting to take some shape. We're starting to see him a little bit. So from the side of the nose here, we're going to start working on his mouth. You're going to do a curve to the center, and then a curve out to the side with a cheek. Right here under this side, you're going to do a small curve, and then a line that goes up to the cheek, and inside you have a little tongue. So you have those 2 little, like you're drawing the top of the heart. Remember that when we're doing the tongue, we have like the little heart top. And next we're going to do some of his tiger stripes. So we'll put one over here, one here, one down here, one in here, and one in here. And you can color those all in. Now some of his face is white and some of it is orange, right? Like kind of his face area is white. So we're going to add that line that kind of frames where the white is. So it's going to come over here into the eyebrow, and then it's going to come down the side of the face here, and I'll zoom in on this in just a second, through the tiger stripe here, and then maybe just a little bit down here at the bottom. So if I was coloring this sliver right here, like that little spot, and this spot up above the eyebrow, that would all be orange. And then this area I'd be leaving white. And then I need to do that on the other side. On the other side, we're going to just kind of start it here off to the side, come into that tiger stripe, curve it around, and then a little bit there. So let me just show you. So when you're coloring, you would color this orange, this orange, this, and then this little sliver, this right here, this and up above here. So see, and then this part of his face would be the white part of his face. He wears a little bandana tied around his neck, so we're going to put a little knot, a little curved square off to the side over here. I'm going to do two little, like the kind of leaf shapes or kind of teardrop shapes, depending on how you look at them. And then this is going to come from under his chin and curve around. And I'll put a little detailed line in there for like some folding. So this would be colored red. And you can always look, just look at serial characters and you'll be able to find them in color. So if we don't have time to color it today, you can always look for that on your own. Now let's still make room for his arm. So I'm going to put his arm, just a line that curves out. He's going to be kind of waving outside of our bowl. Angle a line up. Do a little curve for like the meaty part of the thumb right here. And then the thumb itself. The hand, you're going to just do a curve out and around. And then you can bring that back down to your bowl. Part of his hand will be white, so it's just kind of like what we did here. You're going to do this little trim line. It's going to go into his thumb. It's going to come around here and then up into the hand. So this top part of the hand would stay white. You can do two little lines for fingers. He has a white chest, so on this side of his body, I'm going to start just doing that curved line for the chest. And then you want to give him some tiger stripes in his body here. Down his arm. Maybe I'm seeing just part of this one right here. And of course, if you fit more of his body, you'll do some stripes, you know, kind of down the stomach. I'll show you the original again in a second, and you'll see, like last time, I had more of his body on the page. So see, I had much more body here, so I got more stripes in on the sides. If you do more body, add some extra stripes. Now, I don't want to do the other side of his body yet because this is where I want to put the toucan, and I need to make sure I have room for him. So this is again one of the things when you're working with pen is you have to account for what other shapes you're adding in. So I am just going to do a line that curves up and around. From here, you're going to do that big toucan beak. It goes to a point. You're going to put a little V right at the tip of it. Curve it about halfway. This is your length of your beak. From this little point to here is your beak, so go about halfway. And then you're going to come in and curve around for the mouth, the bottom part of the beak. And this bottom part of the beak, this is where pen gets tricky, guys, is you come down, you come up right against the edge, and then you attach it right there. So see, we gave him a mouth. We need to put a little line here for his mouth. So this is when you're working in pen, it's much harder, right? Because if we were working in pencil, I would have broken this up into shapes. I would have put like a curved hot dog tip, and then I would have built a beak off of it. But when you're working with pen, you can't do that. You have to just kind of put your shapes on the page. His body is going to continue right down here. He's pretty simple in that regard. Now the tip of his beak is black. So from this little point here up, you're going to color all this black. I am going to put a little oval of light in there. And then he has two color sections. So I'm going to put a line here and a line here. So it's actually three. I think it's red. Oh, let me look. I have it up on my screen. So this is black, and then it's red, orange, and yellow. He's going to have two little feathers, which we are actually going to put behind Tony the Tiger. Maybe this one we see the whole thing. We're going to put a line right here because his chest is a different color than his head. We're going to do some little zigzags so it looks like feathers. And then his eye is just an oval, and color in the bottom half black. And then I'm going to color this in black. I'm kind of going over to my... If you bought these pens, what you'll find is the more you color in with them, the more they start to kind of fray. They get wider. So what I do is I just put the ones I want to use to color kind of off to the side. And then that way I'm not smashing all of my pens. And I have some nice clean ones for drawing. And I have ones that are just for the coloring in. And there we go. There's our toucan. How's everyone doing so far? You hanging in there? I know this is a trickier one than we're used to. Usually when we do these doodle pages, they're like actually pretty kind of simple shapes. We don't have to account for too much layering. I'm going to give you guys just a minute to catch up, and I'm just going to fill this orange in a little bit better. Did anyone say, no way I'm working in pencil? You're crazy. There's no way I'm doing this in pen. And if you did, you know what? That is totally fine. Totally fine. So now that I have the bird where I want the bird, I need to finish the other side of Tony the Tiger. And this is going to be so simple, you guys, because it's just going to be his shoulder coming down. You're going to do a little bit of that white belly. And then you're going to do some tiger striping. So see, I don't have a hand on that side. I don't have an arm on that side because the toucan is right in front of him. Okay, the next guy probably was, for even me, the trickiest one to draw. This is a very awkward shape, I find. So we are going to do our Captain Crunch next, because the tricks the Trix guy will just kind of be in the background. All the other characters live in the back. So what we're doing right now is we're tackling all of the characters that live in the front because we want to make sure they're in the front and that we don't have anything crossing over them. This guy is not the easiest to draw. I'm just going to keep it real. So we're going to start with his nose. You're going to just draw a circle. At least I found him tricky. Maybe you'll say, oh, that's not too bad at all. And then we're going to give him that mustache. So I have curve to a point and back in, like that little teardrop shape. I'm going to do a line right down the middle of his nose. I mean, not through his nose, but above his nose. And then part of this is going to be his eyebrow. So I'm going to do a curve line around and bring it back in. He has like a unibrow. So those two caterpillar eyebrows. And then the eyes, you're just going to do a curve line on this side and a curve line on this side. And you're going to do two little ovals right in the center. Okay, not so bad so far. We'll do a curved line here for the mouth. We're going to make another little line there for like the this is his upper lip. This is the inside of his mouth, and we're going to do this little tiny curve there. That would be his bottom lip. Does that make sense? You have his upper lip, the inside of his mouth, and a little bit of his bottom lip. You're going to have his large chin. It's going to start almost at the edge of this mustache, and it's going to come around to the edge of this mustache. We're going to do a line that curves from up above the eyebrow to where this line is. So it's almost like they meet, but the mustache is in front of them. And now here comes the weird hat. So the hat, from this side of the mustache, there's like this weird division of what part is his face, what's his hat. He just kind of goes from blue to like a hat. Blue to the face, I mean. So on this side of the mustache, you're going to do a curve line coming up. You're going to come out to the side with this kind of curved shape. Don't even know what to call that. And then it curves down. The top of his hat is up here, comes back down. You repeat this curved shape. And you bring it down to about there. Goofy as heck. There's just this weirdness for me between what's his hat and what's his face. His hat has a big letter C inside, so I draw the C first. And then I put a little line from the top, a little line from the bottom, and then you connect those two with another curve, so you have that bold C. He has a little shoulder accoutrement. I don't know. So do a little circle, a bigger circle, or oval, I guess, a bigger one, and then fringe. So just all these little hot dog shapes, hot dog tips. His shoulder will come down. For me, it's going to go right down into the bird. And I don't think this side, I'm going to do his hand this time because he's lower in the bowl. So I'm just going to put this line continuing down into the bowl. I will add a little bit of design in here though. We'll come to that in a second. On this side, I am going to do the arm kind of hanging out the bowl. So where this shoulder is, you're just going to start the arm on the other side. So just do this kind of waved line. Curve it. Put 3 goofy fingers. There's no fanciness about these fingers. And we'll just kind of bring that up to the bowl like he's like hanging out. Do a little line there for his arm. And over here for this arm, we're just going to do kind of a curved line for the body. And then that arm line. We'll see some of the striping on his sleeve. So you can do some little stripes there. You'll do stripes over here. And then lastly, you have his jacket buttons. And I'm just going to see 2 on one side and 3 on the other. And then last but not least, he has off to the side here this little like chain of circles that goes down to this little shoulder decoration. And that is 3. So if you've made it this far, hopefully you have 3 guys in your cereal bowl. The rest of the characters are a little bit easier. I think these guys in the front are a little harder. So I'm going to start with this like kind of rooster guy. And I'm just going to put the head first and then figure out how his body falls. So I'm just going to do this kind of hot dog tip here. I'm going to have this curve down and go into Tony Tiger. So that's where that side of the body is going to end. I would see so when I would color this, okay, he's green. I would fill all this space in green, right? Because he's kind of behind them. So he's filling this background space. Inside of this like hot dog tip, we're going to do a upside down triangle with a curved edge, and then one below. We kind of made a diamond shape, and then put a little V in the center. That's the beak. Well, if you have a big space between Captain and Toucan, you're going to fill it with this bird. So the bird now lives in the back and will just take up more of that space. So maybe for you, you're going to see more of the bird's like hand, give him like a thumbs up. You can see, I'll see how much room I have, but you can see on the original, I had room enough to give him a little bit of a thumbs up. They're just very simple where I went up into a thumb and then, you know, you're imagining those are the 3 little fingers. I'm putting 2 curved shapes off of this beak for the eyes. Putting the eyeballs down here in the corner. The wattle, which is that like red part on the chin, I'm actually going to see most of it on this drawing. In fact, I think I'll see all of it. So I'm just doing a curve to a point. and then bring it back around. It's fat, but it gets narrow. And then I can have this line come down. It'll come down. So see, now his body has filled that space. I can do some of that hand. So I'm going to come up, do the thumb. And maybe just under here, I'm going to see some of the fingers wrapping around behind Captain Crunch. And then the rest of his arm. So again, if you're coloring this, let me do this so it makes sense for you. I'm coloring this screen, all of this. I'm coloring this screen. I'm coloring all this in green, all of this. So see how he kind of fills that space? And I'll tell you what, if we don't have time to color today, if we run out of color, I will color mine and I'll post the coloring page and I'll post it colored. So you can kind of see. The one thing we're missing here though is like the top of the head. So I'm going to do kind of like, I almost call it like a Nike swoosh. So I'm coming around and out to a point. And then this I'm going to zigzag in, and then come down. And then I want to do some of his tail feather back here behind Tony the Tiger. So I'm just going to have this kind of curved line here. And there. And that's it. So I might color, oh, this space would be in green too. And then for the two feathers, I would have this red, this top one, this of course is red, this is red, and then I'd have this little smidge right here, yellow, this would be yellow. So hopefully that gives you guys like a better idea of like how you're filling the space with what lives behind. Two more. I'm down to 3 people. I'm down to 2 people. You guys are dropping like flies. I knew this one was going to be a tricky one. So I am going to fit my Trix bunny back in here. I'm going to start with kind of the face and then decide where I want to put that body. So I'm going to start with the cheeks. I'm just going to kind of do this curved in right here. And then this one does the same. He's got a skinny neck, so you come in pretty close together down here at the bottom. And then you're going to have both eyes are filling this top space. So I would say just do a curve line here, another curve here. I'm going to put his nose in before I finish off those eyes. So I'm going to do an upside down triangle right there. And now I'll have the line for the eye coming into that nose. And then closing this eye off over here. There's a little line down from the tip of his nose. You have that cheek curve for that smile. Do curve around up into this space with a little line. And then you're doing that bottom portion of the mouth. You can give him some teeth. And then a little tongue right here. And a little bottom lip. Now with his eyes are going to, one's going to live kind of in this corner, and you're going to leave a little circle of light in the eye. So see, I left a little bit of that white. And then the other one I'll have in this corner as well. And I'll leave a little circle of light in there too. For his neck, do 2 little lines down. Now I'm going to have one side of him just going into the captain. Like we're not even going to see it. And so this space, because he's white, so this would all be left white. This like part that he fills. And then here, I am going to have it go into the rooster, but I want his hand. So he's going to have this like celebratory arm popping out up here. And 3 crazy fingers. These serial characters really don't have good hands. They're just kind of rough. And then you'd bring this down, bring it down here and in. And so now you've established this is his arm. His other one would be hidden back here. His body is right here. So you would leave all of this white, all of this space. Leave this white. And lastly, we just need to do his ears. So his ears come right off the center of his eyes. You curve around. And they kind of are wide to narrower. There's one. This one I'm going to have bent a little bit more. Like that. Now his eyebrows live outside of his face. So you are going to throw those caterpillar eyebrows just up here, kind of floating above his eyes, partially on his ears, partially outside of his head. Just like that. And there's our Trix bunny. Now, if you are very adventurous and you know more of your serial characters, you could add more. You could have more down here on the page. You could have, you know, maybe Snap, Crackle, Pop real small standing on Tony the Tiger. Gosh, there's all kinds of, is that the, yeah, that is the Trix rabbit. You could have the 2 scoops of raisins sun up in the sky instead of the bee. You can kind of have fun with it and play. What else? Honey Smacks, Lucky Charms. I mean, there were so many serial characters, actually. So let's do, last but not least, we're going to do our bumblebee. And with the bee, I'm going to start with the eyes. So I am going to do a line and then curve around. Curve this one off of it and come in. Put a little hot dog tip for the nose. I'm going to color in an eye here in this corner. And here in this corner. From just under the nose, do a little curve for an upper lip that goes into the smile, the cheek line. You can drop this down and curve it back up. He also had a row of teeth at the top and then a tongue, that heart-shaped tongue down in the bottom. Now, his head. This is another one where we're kind of just doing a lot of weird lines. We're going to start from above this eye. We're going to hump over to the center between the two eyes. We're going to do another hump, but it's going to be bigger. It's going to come out here, just off to the side of the eye, about halfway down. You're going to do that curved cheek line that comes down below the face. Let's do the cheek on the other side so we kind of match them up a little bit. This is going to curve around as well. So I'm keeping those about even. And then I'm drawing the jawline, following it right around that mouth up to the face. We have an antenna up here and here. You have a skinny neck off the bottom of the chin. Curve this neck because he's wearing a t-shirt. So this is like, ends up looking like the neck of the t-shirt. You're going to do a line coming out this way for an arm and a line coming out this way for an arm. This one you're going to curve down. This one you're going to curve in. And then you can bring this in. Body line down. In. Body line down. His hands come right out of his shirt, so there aren't really that much, you're not really seeing arm. So you're just barely going to make a line coming out, and then you're going to do that meaty part of the thumb, this part here. You're going to do a thumb going up. A little curved line, and then another. And then a finger and a finger. And then curve that in and go into the sleeve. Give him a little palm line right here. And this hand is turned the other way. So one of his hands is palm out. That's this one. One of his hand is palm down. So that's this one. So you're just going to come out. You're going to curve, curve, curve. And then it goes down into that thumb, which is maybe for me going into my rooster a bit and then going into the sleeve. This shirt is going to curve. It's just clearing my Tony the Tiger thumb. I'm going to do a round for the butt. I want the stinger right here in this corner. Now his legs, one leg would come down this way. Down this way, they're skinny. This one you wouldn't see, but you're gonna see just a little bit of it popping out on this side. So let's do this one first. I would imagine that almost all the rest of his leg's gonna be there, and we would just see the curve of his shoe off the edge. Where this one, I think we would see a little bit of leg kicking back. Curve that around. And then we'd have a little hot dog tip there, and then the tip of the shoe. So see how we did that? One leg is kind of hidden. I mean, they're both hidden. This one you're seeing more upper leg, and the other one you're seeing more of the lower leg. So this is colored black. This is colored black. His legs are black. And then in this bottom part, you're going to do some stripes, some bee stripes. And there, oh, we need his wings. Last thing. I knew I was forgetting something. You're going to draw kind of a hot dog tip on this side. This one, maybe you're just seeing the edge of it. And then just do some hash marks. And those are our wings for our Cheerios bee. And that is all of our characters. I know that was probably one of the trickiest drawings we've done. That was just in pen. If you stuck with that, amazing. If you had to give up and you had to go to pencil, that is okay, because this was a very difficult one. I would say this is probably one of the more challenging straight to pen drawings that we've done. How many of you made it? Did anyone make it and do the whole thing just in pen? I know some people too. I find, if you feel like you're struggling a lot when we do these like just in pen days, of course, one option is you just do it in pencil. Just start in pencil, break the shapes down a little bit more. If you've done this class enough with me, you should kind of have an idea of like how you would break apart some of the shapes we just did. But if you really want the challenge of the pen, but you're just finding the pace is too quick, then you know what? Watch the video later. Watch it when it's done, when you have the ability to pause it and to go back and, watch something again, or just make it slow down. There is nothing wrong with that. When I am following along with, videos online, I don't really think I am ever doing them live. I am always doing them when I can pause it and I can give myself, a chance to kind of catch up. So don't feel bad if that's hard for you. You did, but I don't want to see it. I don't think that's true. I do want to see it. I always want to see it. I'm just going to keep kind of coloring. If you need to stop and go, that is fine. But I kind of want to get some color in this so you guys can really see how cute it'll look once we get all of these little shapes colored in. And that's another piece too. You know, sometimes your drawings, especially when you have things like this that are so layered and you have so much going on the page, and you're like, is that part of this person's body or this person's body? Color it. Color it in, and I guarantee you it'll look so much more cohesive and so much cleaner once you get the color on the page. Some drawings just need color. This is definitely one of them. It's a little bit tricky in this drawing to actually see what pieces belong to what animal. So I am just going to go ahead and color this in. If you have to leave, don't worry. Don't forget, we do have our sip and draw this Saturday. It's at 8 o'clock. We will be doing the Muppets, Miss Piggy. We're doing Miss Piggy specifically. We don't have a sponsor or anything this week. The one after this we do. We have a coffee company sponsor. So you can drink whatever beverage you like. There we go. I love Miss Piggy too. I've drawn Miss Piggy once before, and I'll tell you, it is a goofy drawing. I drew it straight in pen, and I just did not get the scale right. So I'm looking forward to doing it again and doing her justice, drawing her a little bit better than I did the very first time. But that's a good point. You know, when you're working in pen, sometimes your first time, it's not the greatest. So keep in mind that, you know, when this drawing that I did today for you, this was my second time. I drew this one already. So I had a little bit of practice of like how to fit the shapes and how to layer the characters. And, you know, I didn't color it, but I did draw it. So always give yourself that credit that when you're doing yours today with me, it's the first time you've drawn it. It's the first time you've tried. And this one was tough, so I give you props for just even trying, because this wasn't easy. I mean, this isn't an easy drawing even if you're working in pencil. It's just not. There's a lot going on. I was going to do more of like a serial doodle page at first and put a bunch of characters, you know, like all over, but we would have been able to do 2 characters. Like if we had to draw their whole bodies, we would have had time to do 2. And so I thought, well, what if I put them all in a bowl of cereal? Then maybe we can fit a couple more. So that's why we did it this way today. So it's not quite a doodle page, but you could make it one. I know we have people who go like crazy. They go so above and beyond anything I'm teaching. I love it. And so I know we'll get some who add all kinds of other serial characters. You know, maybe you have a real favorite and you wanted to make sure that they got inside the drawing. You can add them into yours. He has a blue nose. See, this looks cuter already, just with the color I've done. Now the toucan is kind of 2 colors of blue. I'm going to do the same light blue for this part of the body. What's everybody's favorite cereal? Are you a cereal eater? And give me your favorite junky cereal and your favorite healthy cereal. Because some people have You know, just that favorite junky cereal that you like. What's your guilty pleasure cereal? I feel like we all should have a guilty pleasure cereal. This would actually just be blue right down here at the bottom. We wouldn't see, he has a white chest, and then his feathers are a darker blue, and the lower half of his body is a darker blue. And his mouth is pink. Boy, do I need to sharpen my pencils. Kicks. Oh, that was from Grandma. My guilty pleasure cereal, actually oh man, I sharpened it and it broke, is Lucky Charms for sure, is my guilty pleasure one. I like Trix, but Trix is one of those ones that for me, it like makes the whole inside of my mouth raw. And this is yellow. This part's not taking too long. I know some of you had to leave, and that's okay. Some of you are probably just still really focused. Like, don't ask me about my cereal, lady. I'm trying to draw over here. Cheerios with brown sugar. I love granola. Like if I'm just eating cereal that I guess I wouldn't consider like a junky cereal, I love granola without raisins. I do not allow raisins. I do sometimes like, though, just a good bowl of Cheerios. But I don't ever add anything to mine. If I have Cheerios, I just have them plain. Unless they're Honey Nut. Then, of course, they have, like, you know, the Honey Nut flavoring in them. Got a couple more spaces in here that I can color black. The inside of this mouth. I'm not sure about Captain Crunch, what I'm doing there yet. And the Trix Rabbit's easy because he's really not going to have much color at all in him. And then the Honeybee's shirt is orange. I'm going to get a lighter orange than my Tony the Tiger. Oh, and I just realized I forgot a line. So after I get this colored in, I'll show you what you need to add. It's nothing major. Oh, and I didn't color his neck yellow. So right here, you'd have the other side of his sleeve. That's why we colored that one. You know, this one curved this way, so we would see the inside of the sleeve, where the other one curved the other way. Now, which yellow did I use? There it is, maybe, I think. Yeah. Shoo, it matches. His shoes are white. Now on to Captain Crunch. His letter C is also yellow. This little thing on the side is yellow. Some of these characters too, I drew a little more original versus, a lot of them got upgrades over the years. They look a little more realistic, I would say, than they once did when they first came out. But that's animation or illustration in general. I did, for those that follow me on Instagram, there's this thing that's going around lately on Instagram, and it's like you post a drawing, something that you've done, an original, and then it's you recreate it. So I would post something, and then geez, these pencils are just killing me today. Then you have everybody recreate it in their own style. It's called draw this in your style is what it is. And I did, where is it? I did this drawing, this cat girl, drawing this in your style. And I realized, the original artist has been sharing the artwork of, anyone that has participated. And I am the only artist so far who is not using digital. Everyone else is using, an iPad, some sort of digital. And I don't discredit them at all. A lot of even tattoo artists have moved to like a digital artwork. I have not been able to really learn it myself. So that's why I really don't discredit them for what they're doing, because there's a whole learning curve to the digital art world. But I don't know. I really just like drawing straight from, I just like drawing on paper. It's like people who, I still like to read a physical book versus reading a book on my iPad. I always find whenever I start, I don't honestly know if I've ever finished a book that I started on an iPad. So while I embrace modern technology, I do like old school. This weekend, if you want to see some art, I don't know if anybody's ever been, but here in Sacramento, we have Chalk It Up every year. And of course, this year, because of everything going on, they can't really have it at the park they normally have it. But instead, they're doing it all over. So there's going to be chalk drawings in Roseville, in Folsom, in Sacramento, in Elk Grove. They're all over. Artists from all over the area have signed up, and you can look it up online. It's called Chalk It Up, and you can get a digital map. You can get a map that tells you where it all is, so you can just kind of drive around in your car and like check out the artwork. There's even live music in certain places that you can stop and listen to. So fun activity if anybody's looking for something to do this weekend. I know, again, we're kind of a little more stuck inside, stuck without maybe the normal activities we would have done over a Labor Day weekend. So if you like art and you want to check it out, It's all done in chalk and it is spectacular. I go every year. Of course, this year is a little bit different because it's not all in one place, but some of the artwork that is created will blow your mind. Blow your mind. It is beautiful. Like you just look at it and think, how are they doing that with chalk? You get people who do like three-dimensional stuff. It's just insane. So fun art activity, and it'll go on all weekend. In fact, it's kind of the later you go in the week, you know, you could even go Sunday or Monday, the better, because I'm going to give him teeth and a tongue. Because it's, their art will be done. You know, if you go driving around tomorrow, you're not going to see as much completed art as you will see later. And yes, it is going to be hot this weekend. I really don't have any plans aside from going out to try to see a little bit of Chalk It Up. Otherwise, I will probably be hiding in my little kiddie pool in the backyard because it is supposed to be blazing hot again. I'm hoping the fires stay down and that just, if anything, I'm really hoping the smoke stayed down because I just would like to be outside at least a little bit in my backyard. I don't want to spend another weekend locked indoors. All right, there's that guy. And then last but not least, we have our Trix rabbit, which is really quite simple because he's going to have pink on the nose and pink on the tongue. And everything else about him is white. I see one little spot I missed, this little bit of tail. And that is the cereal drawing. You could color your bowl. Maybe I'll color my bowl. What color do I want my bowl to be? I'm gonna go with this like aqua-ish color. So don't forget to share your art. Even if you think, oh gosh, you don't want to see this. This was tough. I did it all in pen. I struggled. You know what? I want to see it anyway because I bet compared to maybe how you started when you first started drawing with me, I bet you've come a long way. In fact, do you ever do that? For those that are like my groupies, have you gone back and looked at your original artwork and compared it to something more recent? Or on that same note, have you looked at something that you've done straight to pen and looked at like maybe the first one you ever tried straight to pen and then compared it to what you're doing now? You know, we forget how much we improve. So that's a great way to see it. That is it for me. I will see you on Saturday for our next sip and draw with Miss Piggy. I will load this drawing colored in as well as the coloring page for those that don't want to even try drawing this but just would like to color it. I hope you guys have a fun, safe holiday weekend, and if you are somewhere that it's warm, you stay cool. And I will see you on Saturday. Happy drawing, guys.